Hello and welcome back. Now we will discuss about the third one is the third physical quantities, that is tensor quantities. Actually it is very different from the other two quantities, the other two physical quantities, that is scalar quantity and vector quantity. This is a type of physical quantities which have magnitude but variable with the direction. Means this type of physical quantity is, suppose in vector space, here is a reference point A, and in this direction, if a body measures in this direction at point B, a body measures 30 km, but in this direction, if the same distance have different measurements from 30 km, means if this point, if a body moves to B position, have in certain direction, it has a certain magnitude, but if it is not a certain magnitude from different direction, if from A to B it measured as 30 km, but the same length, same path, if it travels in different directions and it measures different from 30 km, means if the body changes its magnitude with the direction, means in another direction the magnitude becomes different from the other, then we can refer it as tensor quantities. Actually these tensor quantities are very much relevant, or it is used in vector space. For example, Ricci tensor, Riemannian tensor, these are the two tensors that used in the vector space, or the Ricci tensor is used in Einstein equation for finding the value of gravitation. Now the second topic is types of motion. Before we discuss the next topic, motion along a straight line, we have to know that how many types of motions are there. We have different types of classifications, but right now you have to learn about the 5 different types of motions. The first one is rectilinear motion. Rectilinear motion means a moving of car. If a moving car in a straight line or a straight path represents rectilinear motion. Suppose if this is a straight road and if a body or a car A starts moving from X point to Y point in a straight path, then the motion is referred as rectilinear motion. But second one is the curvilinear motion. Curvilinear motion means, suppose if a stone is thrown in a straight path, but after traveling a certain distance, it rises up and then it falls down in the direction. So there is a change in the direction of the movement of the stone, that represents the curvilinear motion. Now the third one is rotatory motion. Rotatory motion means rotation of fan. If a fan rotates in its axis, means this is the 3 blades of a fan, and if these 3 blades moves on its axis, then this represents the rotatory motion, means rotation of the fan. The next one is oscillatory motion. How can you explain an oscillatory motion? An oscillatory motion is represented as, you already have seen or you know about This movement of pendulum represents the oscillatory motion. Means first at the mean position, the pendulum started moving to its left side and then down back to mean position and then to right side. Or you can say first it moves to mean position, fro, mean position. Then this to and fro movement of the pendulum represents the oscillatory motion. Now the next one is vibratory motion. This movement of pendulum is regular. That's why it is oscillatory motion. But in certain conditions, for example, the string of a guitar or a sitar, if these are the string of sitar, and by using fingers, if we move these strings, then it also vibrates to fro mean position, to fro mean position. But this movement of to, then fro, and then mean position is not in a regular way. First it rises up and then it's lower down, and this is called vibratory motion. The sitar is straight. Now these 5 motions are the types of motions that you have to study in your class. Now after this topic we will discuss about the next topic, motion along a straight line. How can you explain these terms? Means a straight line, you can say it is a linear motion. If a motion along a straight line, then it is also called a linear motion. Means a motion in a straight line. Now in this chapter we will only learn about 2 types of motions. The first one is rectilinear motion or linear motion, or second one is rotatory motion. Means beneath the rotatory motion there is a circular motion, and that circular motion we will learn about. The first, in the motion along a straight line or a linear motion, the first we will discuss about the mathematical representation, and the second one is graphical representation. Means we will both learn about mathematical representation of the motion as well as the graphical representation. In physics, graphs are very important. How can we say that the graphs are very important? Because some of the terms are very difficult to understand with its definitions, or which cannot be defined properly. And for that type of terms, we have to understand through it with a graph. Means suppose if we want to understand more than the things, more than the 3 dimensions, this type of things are usually represented on the graph. Means through the motion, through the graph, we can understand its motion. In various type of analytical works, we also use graphs, and graphs have an important role in the physical engineering. Means in the bright scope of physics, we must have to understand the concept of graph. In higher classes, we will learn a separate chapter of graphs. How can we represent the physical graphs? Graphs are not only represented on physics, but it also used in mathematics and also in biology. Biology for different types of movement inside the body, different types of analytical works. And also we have one chapter that is called statistics. Statistics. This also plays an important role in our higher study. along with the graph and statistics, we will determine the very complicated data of physical or biological world. Now, with the two representations, the first one is mathematical representation and the second one is graphical representation, we will further discuss about the motion along a straight line or in circular paths. First, motion along a straight line. We have to know a very simple example here. Look at here. Consider a person moving along a straight road in his car. He starts his journey leaving his home from O. Now, represent this term. If a person moving along a straight line or a straight road, here E is a person who is moving along a straight road. First, he starts his journey leaving his home from O. Means this position is represented as O, that is called origin. That we know in our previous class. This is also called the reference point. From the measurement is calculated. A body P or a person P starts its journey from O position, and now he crossed a city A 80 kilometers from his home, and he crossed a city A that is 80 kilometers from his home. This is the city that is his home. This is city 1, that is A. And now another city B 90 kilometers from A, means the previous city. Another city B means city 2. It travels 90 kilometers and then finally reaches its destination C at the distance of 100 kilometers from B. Means if he had to reach to his office, that is his office, and it is represented as C. He travels 100 kilometers more of distance from point B. Now we have to calculate the distance traveled by the person P. We are discussing about the mathematical representation of this term of the motion along a straight line. How can we write the mathematical representation? To learn the mathematical representation, look at here. First we will calculate the distance. Means distance OC is travelled by the person P. Then OC is equal to OA plus AB plus BC. Means these intervals, the first interval is OA, the second one is AB, and the third one is BC. These three intervals is added and we have 80 kilometer, 90 kilometer and 100 kilometer. That together combines and it forms 270 kilometer. Means this is the mathematical representation of a motion along a straight line. Means we calculate a distance traveled by a body in a linear motion. This is the mathematical representation, but these representations also represent in graphs. But we will discuss about the graphical representation in our next class. Okay, thank you.